Hey everybody, I'm Den Haring. Welcome back to Fish Den 365 and welcome back to Topwater Tuesday. Today, we're going to be reviewing the Lunkerhunt Prop Frog.
That's what I'm talking about.
So, right off the start here, I have to say that I've never been a real big fan of the Lunkerhunt lineup of topwater baits. I just never really cared for them that much. But recently, my brother and I were going through some of the baits that my dad had and left for us, and so I found this one, this Prop Frog, and I thought it looked pretty interesting. There was a bunch of things that I kind of liked about it right off the bat. Not the least of which is that it's extremely soft. So that's always important because in frog fishing, you want that bass to be able to clamp down on that frog so that the hooks are exposed, and it takes very little to expose these. Now this frog, it comes with a trailer hook mounted on it, and I'll show that in the picture right here. I took it off, but that trailer hook would allow you to get some short strikers, but these legs are soft enough, and the frog is small. It's not very large, not very long. Most fish that I catch, the size of the fish that I'm catching, would have no problem getting this totally engulfed in their mouth. And I took the trailer hook off the bait because I felt that the way the trailer hook was mounted on there, that it would create an issue if I was fishing it through a lot of slop. It'd probably hang up into that slop and that kind of thing. So I just took it off. Will I lose a fish or two because of that? Maybe, but I'll be able to throw it places where I would not be able to throw it with that on there. Anyway, I was curious about the bait, so I took it up to the local pond today and I started throwing it around, and I have to say I was really impressed with the action of this bait. And then I got online to see, okay, what are people saying about it? You know, I like to get on Tackle Warehouse and read the reviews, and there were a bunch of reviews on this bait, and it was mixed. A very mixed review. You know, some people loved the frog, some people hated it. There were a lot of people that liked certain aspects of it, but not all the aspects. So let's review those things and what I learned about it. First, what I learned with my fishing it. Number one is there's no plug in this frog, so as you're fishing it, it's going to fill up with water. But the darn thing is so light, it doesn't seem to matter all that much, and I don't mind squeezing some water out after every few casts. That doesn't bother me a whole lot, especially if the frog works and catches fish. The thing that impressed me with this thing was that you can really churn the water up with these legs when you reel this thing in. Any kind of speed, and that water's churning really good. And the sound that it makes is good as well. I don't know if you've ever seen a frog racing across the surface when it gets scared, but this thing imitated that really good, I thought. And so I was impressed with the sound of the bait, and I started fishing it different ways just to see how it would work. You know, I reeled it in at a fast clip, and this thing was sputtering water, and water was flying up in the air, and it made a good commotion. And then I started to try it with just a slow retrieve, and that had that really nice thump, 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 thump sound. Not as much of a commotion, but I could see days where that would work as well. But the thing that maybe I liked even more than both of those retrieves was when I would reel it fast and stop, or twitch the rod and stop. The bait would move forward, the water would fly up in the air, and then it would stop. And the bait would always be at this really nice angle like this as soon as you stop it. So it would move forward, you'd get good kick, good water spray, moves forward, stops, and it goes back to that angle again. It looks just like a frog or some kind of bait fish trying to get away. Again, everything that I made the bait do, I liked the way it looked in the water. So I've never fished this bait before. Like I said, I was never crazy about the Lunkerhunt lineup of frogs and other topwaters, but this one I like. It's very soft. Those legs make a lot of commotion. I could see fishing this over lily pad fields, especially if they're just a little sparse or if there's some open lanes, that kind of thing. It could be very good in that kind of environment. Over grass, that could be another great environment. Some of the things that I read about some of the negative parts of the frog were just that I thought that trailer hook sometimes would hang up. If there was a lot of grass or snot, that kind of stuff, what I call snot grass, that would hang up these legs. But that's, I can understand that. I wouldn't fish it in those kind of environments. But I do think there's a time and a place for it. And I'm really curious to know if you have any experience with the Lunkerhunt Prop Frog and what your experiences are. I did read where some people said sometimes these legs would bend or maybe it wouldn't hold up. And other people said the bait held up real well. Caught 9, 10, 15 fish, and they were still fishing it. So there was a lot of mixed reviews on the bait, but some people really liked it. I don't know where I stand. I have to get it out there and actually try it and see what it does with the fish. But I will say this. I was impressed with the action of the bait. I really thought it could be good. And I'm looking forward to messing around with it this summer when that frog bite comes on, because I just liked the commotion it made. It was different than most of what I saw. It almost reminded me of a whopper plopper, the way the water was flying up and the sound of it. So that part of it got my attention, and I'm looking forward to fishing it. So how would I fish this thing? That's a good question. So I would use a frog rod, which is a heavy action bait casting rod. I'd use 50-pound test braid. I'd tie the braid directly to the nose of the frog because I'm throwing this through cover. And even if I'm not throwing it through cover, even if I was throwing this on open water, I would have that braid out of the water. I'd have my rod tip a little higher so that the braid's not in the water anyway. Fish aren't going to notice that. And so, it would allow me to fish this frog in a number of ways. You can throw it a good way, too. It's got some good weight for it for this small size. So I had no problem casting it. I'd use a high-speed reel. The reel that I like is the Abu Garcia Revo Rocket. It's like a 10.1-to-1 gear ratio. It's great for toad fishing because you can get those toads right up to the surface. And it's a reel that I would like to use for this as well. Looking forward to that warmer weather coming so I can give this thing a try. Let me know if you have experience with this frog, what you think of it. If you thought the video was useful, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Trying to grow it, so if you would, share with your friends. I think the majority of the people that watch my videos probably haven't even subscribed yet, but if you are getting something out of them and you can subscribe, I'd surely appreciate it. Until next time, be safe out there, and as always, may God bless your fishing endeavors.